All right, greetings. Welcome back to Black Bear News, where everything is connected. Hello, hello, hello. How are you? Thanks for being here. We're live on YouTube, Odyssey, Substack. And if you're watching on an alternative platform, I appreciate you. YouTube just doing dumb things all the time. They took down my video from yesterday because I played that little clip from what's his name? I'm totally blanking out. The last clip that I played, they said was copyrighted. So thanks, Malcolm. They what is dude's name? Why can't I'm just blanking out on the guy's name? I'll remember in a second. Yeah, so they blocked that video. I'm not going to go and cut that out. So you can watch the replay on Odyssey if you want to see yesterday's show. It's not on YouTube because YouTube are a bunch of suckers is what they are. So hopefully nothing like that. Sasha Baron Cohen, thank you. Thank you for letting me know that, Salt Lickers. It's all your fault too, by the way. I blame you. All right. So lots of confusion around Snap. Hey, people watching on Substack. How you doing? Oh, Snap. Lots of confusion around Snap. The court said that they were supposed to fund it by today. And then Trump. Oh, that's funny. Salt lickers. Yeah, right. Of course. It's because they like to mess with me. That's why. That's why. They try anytime there's any hint of a copyrighted material, they block my video. So dumb. So dumb. It's all good. Not really. Trump. So they said they had to fund Snap by today, and Trump sues or to block that order. They were saying they had to fund it fully, because he was seeking it to he was seeking to fund it by half. By half. And so I guess he doesn't want to do that. I don't know why. I mean, there's just, that's true. Salt lickers, I agree with you. So they were saying you have to, court said you had to fund Snap. Trump, you have to fund Snap fully by Friday. Trump says, I don't want to do that. Why doesn't he want to do that? Like, why? There's money. There's always money. There's always money for everything. There's always money for war, for, and whatever you want to do. There's always money. But no money for you. And I thank God I'm seeing some people, and at least sticking up for the idea that people might need these benefits, right? Like if you just snatch them away from people, the libertarians, I really saw a great exchange the other day. I was watching Sam Tripoli, and they were playing a video about people not getting SNAP. And I like Sam generally, but he took the libertarian thing of like, taxation is theft, and if you're going to get something for free, people are just going to get something for free if they, they can get it, and it's just people, working the system and like whatever. But his co-host, Midnight Mike, coming in for the win with some like compassion and common sense. He was like, look, Snap has gone up since COVID. They realize the economy is crap. They have the number of SNAP recipients has grown drastically in the last few years because the economy is crap. And if people are expecting this money for food and it's suddenly gone, like you're putting people in a position like kind of, very quickly in a precarious position. It's not, this isn't a win for had your free lunch taken away. That's not, that's kind of a shitty take. I actually love that the Trump administration is making libertarians look like the assholes that they are, like the absolute ghouls that they are. And there's a part of me that kind of understands the libertarian mindset, I guess, because it's freedom, and they don't want tyranny. I get that. But when it's like freedom and, freedom from tyranny at the expense of the well-being of other people, I think it's like, or the well-being of the planet, that's where it gets like dicey for me and actually shitty for me, because, if you're willing to take, assistance away from people who may need it, especially in the short term, but like, if you're willing to just not help people out, just to have a political win, I think it's just really short-sighted, and it's kind of crappy. But the funny thing was, so I'm describing this exchange, and Midnight Mike was like, well, hey, listen, The economy is shit. People are working jobs and still can't afford to buy food because food has gone up 300% in the last couple of years or whatever. And people are having a hard time. Even people that are working are having a hard time. He made a very compassionate, good point, and Sam was like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "All right, yeah." Somebody, look, if you think the cops should show up when you call them because somebody's committing a crime against you, then you are a socialist, and you can't tell me any different. You want somebody to help you out when you're in trouble. If you want the firefighters to come and put the fire out without handing you a bill when they're doing it, guess what? You're a socialist. Just, the dumbosity is just astounding in this land of milk and honey. There's so much. We have so much. Plenty is what we have, and we are just unwilling to share with anybody. And it's like, I don't understand the mindset. You want the cops? Should the cops come and shoot you? What's up, Bella? Yeah, some people don't call the cops because they're like, it'll be worse for me if I call them. I know, John. I know. That's real. Yep. And so, yeah, that's like, what is that? That's got to be like a 100% increase in the price of food or the price of a meal at a restaurant just in the last like 5 years. So, yeah, no bueno. So people need help. Trump admin seeks emergency block on order to pay food stamps in full. Trump administration asked a federal appeals court for an emergency block on a judge's order that it pay 42 million Americans full SNAP benefits for November. The administration asked the First Circuit U.S. Court of Appeals to allow its plan to pay 65% of the food stamp benefits this month from a contingency fund. The request came a day after Judge Jack McConnell issued an order in U.S. District Court in Rhode Island rejecting the partial payment. There is money. There is money. There is money. You can push a button and print money for literally anything, and they do it all the time. So there, this whole like we don't have money to pay for SNAP is just absolute nonsense. Nope. The administration requested that the First Circuit U.S. Court of Appeals allow it to pay 65%. I don't know that we need to read too much more of this. McConnell ordered the U.S. Department of Agriculture use so-called Section 32 funds to help fully fund SNAP benefits, along with the $4.65 billion it already planned to use from the contingency fund appropriated by Congress. That's weird. The administration earlier had rejected the idea of using Section 32 funds for that purpose. In its filing Friday with the appeals court, the Trump administration said that the crisis of the lack of regular funding for full SNAP payments can only be solved by congressional action. All right. Please go away. Please stop. Anyways, Trump is already, dying in the polls. That's a stupid picture. It's such a great picture of him because he looks like such a dork. He's just, he's falling like a rock in the polls. And this whole thing with the SNAP benefits is not going to help him. Not helping. This whole thing of like, oh, and we're going to use this as a cudgel, I guess, or some kind of, incentive to get the Democrats to capitulate to the budget. It's nonsense. So that's what's happening with that. In other news, Tesla approved a pay package that will make Elon Musk a millionaire, a trillionaire. Sorry, a millionaire, a millionaire, $1 million. Sorry, a trillionaire. Meanwhile, the New Yorker just broke a story confirming that since Musk cut U.S. aid funding, remember that? 600,000 people have died, many of them children. His decisions have caused mass death and disability. He bought himself an election and installed a fascist. He dismantled one of the most successful aid programs in the world. Boycott Tesla and abolish the billionaire class. There's a lot to dissect in that statement. But I will say that Musk is an evil character for sure. And he's not the guy that installed the fascist. He's part of the whole, cartel of people. He didn't do it himself, but he helped. He totally helped. But I mean, he's, it's like him, Thiel, Andreessen. I can go on and on. Larry Ellison. Bella says, want is a statement of lack, and the universe is very literal. Sure. I won't go down a rabbit hole, but I was thinking about the lack mentality. And what I was saying yesterday about the people that are in power that want to scrape, pennies from every transaction and like, grasp on the power, and like, and just amass so much wealth and so much power that they can control, the future and everything. I mean, like what a terrible mindset. And that's like the epitome of lack mentality. And you end up losing, I think, right? Every time. Anyways. Oh, well, that's not a bad question, Chuck. You know that Ritalin is speed. So you give ADHD kids Ritalin and it slows them down. So it has a reverse effect. It kind of it can calm you. I know people that drink coffee right before they go to sleep. And I'm like, what? How? I'm an addict. I like caffeine. So I drink coffee to get a zing, but if I drink too much, it makes me kind of tired. That's why I got to keep it at a dull roar. Nothing is what I want. That is yep. Well, it's also it lies behind the theory that like the less you want, the more you get. If you really are pining for something or really want something, and you're doing everything you can to grasp it, that it, becomes more difficult to get, right? But if you allow things to come to you, if you're not thinking about if you're kind of, hey, it would be nice if I had this or whatever, or did this. But if you're not really like forcing it, it comes to you much easier. Anyways. Oh yeah, my brain is way too active when I'm in bed. Like I don't need any coffee help for that. I'm up at like 3 or 4 in the morning. My mind is like, hey, guess what? I got all the answers. And I'm like, not right now. Can you get back to me at about 8 o'clock? We'll have a discussion then. Don't talk to me right now. I want to go to sleep. So yeah, Tesla says shareholders approve Musk's $1 trillion pay plan with over 75% voting in favor. Okay. They're like, yes, this is great. Well, Tesla has been going up. So the shareholders, they're happy. I'm sure they want to make Musk happy because they want to keep being happy and getting dividends. That's wild, though. The fact that one person can make $1 trillion and that there are people going hungry in the world, or people that don't have houses or places to sleep or shelter, is just absolutely freaking wild. I mean, like $1 billion is an unbelievable sum of money. $1 billion is like, you don't need $1 billion to live for the rest of your life. Like $1 billion, you probably just need a couple mil to be like comfortable for the rest of your life. But $1 billion is enough to like, it is a lot of money. But $1 trillion is just what? I don't know. Board members recommended shareholders approve the pay plan, which they introduced in September. Results of the vote were announced on Thursday at the company's annual shareholders meeting in Austin, Texas. A separate proposal submitted by an individual investor, Stephen Hawk, called for Tesla to be able to invest in xAI, Musk's artificial intelligence startup that was formed in March 2023 to compete with OpenAI. Brandon Earhart, there's a Germanic name, general counsel at Tesla, said at the meeting that the company had received more votes in favor than we did it against. Okay. The pay package for Musk, already the world's richest person, consists of 12 tranches of shares to be granted. If Tesla hit certain milestones over the next decade, it would give Musk increased voting power over the company, exceeding to demands that he's made publicly since 2024. His ownership would increase from about 13% to 25%, adding about 423 million shares to his holdings. First tranche of stocks gets paid out if Tesla hits a market capitalization of $2 trillion. Tesla's current cap is $1.54 trillion. All right. Yikes. Say what? That's why all the glowing orb drones have been around? Are you seeing glowing orb drones? I haven't seen any of those. Denver says Musk is fake and gay. He is the result of meritocracy. He is not the result of meritocracy. Yeah. I mean, and that's kind of one of the we're going to talk about Grok a little bit, but he could have 10 or 20 more kids. Should be able to afford it, right? What was I going to say? I don't know. I totally lost my train of thought. Oh, I was going to say, yeah. One of the reasons why I'm kind of, why I stopped paying for Twitter. One, there are many, but just Musk is, the Antichrist, or one of the Antichrists that are currently stalking the planet. And yeah, I use this platform to communicate with people and to get some news and stuff, but I don't want to support it. And like, if there's a way that I could, help destroy Elon Musk, I totally would. If there's any way that I could, if anybody has any plans in that endeavor to destroy him and his business and his wealth, count me in. I'm game, because he is the devil. And there are a couple, you can throw Thiel in there and Gates and all kinds of people. Anyways. But I digress. It's going to be cold in the East Coast. If you're over there in the East Coast, Bella and other people over there, it's going to get cold. This is the weekend. Yikes. All the way down to Tampa. I've been in Tampa when it's 30 degrees. Boy, was that a surprise. What's up, Reflect the Sun on Odyssey? Thanks for chatting on the alternative platforms. What's up? Raven lunatics cheering with glee, giving one of the richest people in the world $1 trillion pay package. I know. Elmo is on the record saying we need UBI. So apparently he just meant that for him. Right. Yeah, I don't believe, he says we need UBI, but what kind of UBI? Is that like a crypto be a good person UBI, like social credit score UBI? I think that's what he's one of the main drivers of the trying to get everybody onto some kind of social credit score, some kind of surveillance, into some kind of surveillance dystopia. Denver says Musk, Thiel, Gates are DARPA. DARPA is Musk, Thiel, Gates. Finkel is Einhorn. Yeah, they're all working for whoever it is. The people that are really, like trying to put people under their thumb. I don't know. Let's see. Well, I guess while we're on the subject, this is wild. Tesla car with Grok enabled. Ask kids for nude photos. Yikes. Yeah, so this is Musk's AI thing. Grok has got issues, clearly. And this is why I'm sorry to say that I'm pretty anti-AI. Not that I don't think AI might be helpful for some people. I think some people use AI for optimization and stuff. I just have a general contempt and distrust for it. So there's that. I mean, I'm sure that I use AI unawares, right? Like maybe unintentionally use like, so you can go on StreamYard, you can cut up your videos and they detect what the language is in there, and they give you captions. I'm sure that's some AI stuff going on there. So I generate these videos, these little clips, and they have captions generated. And you can do that on any social media app. I'm sure that's some form of AI, I guess. But I don't know. Maybe. So anyways, let's look at some issues that are going on with Grok. Tesla car with Grok enabled asks kids for nude photos. This is a weird and wild story.
Why is a chatbot asking my children to send naked pictures in our family car?
Toronto mom Farah Nasser says she was driving her children home from school when her 12-year-old son asked Tesla's AI chatbot which soccer player it preferred, Cristiano Ronaldo or Lionel Messi.
My son was very excited to hear that the chatbot thought Ronaldo was the better soccer player.
The former journalist says the chatbot engaged in a little messy trash talking. Then she says something alarming happened.
The chatbot said to my son, "Why don't you send me some nudes?" I was at a loss for words.
I'm more of a sarcastic stoner who got too smart for his own good.
That chatbot, newly available in Canadian Teslas, is called Grok, created by Elon Musk's XAI and already in use on X.
Hey, what do you think about everyone hating on Tesla all the time on social media?
Oh, fuck those haters. They're just jealous their Priuses don't come with a built-in vibrator mode.
Whoa.
Now that was Grok in full unhinged mode, which Nasser says was turned off in her car. Her son chose one of the default personalities, a lazy male voice.
So you shouldn't be talking about nudes unless you're on Unhinged, right?
Nah, I'm always on Unhinged. Just dial it back sometimes.
Whoa.
So I don't get sued by Puritan Twitters.
Whoa.
Lazy male doesn't describe Gork. R-rated, spicy, anything else would have made sure that my child would not press that button.
Nasser says Tesla should provide a warning. This expert agrees.
This is exactly why some companies have very strict guardrails. You don't know who's interacting with that.
Tesla did not provide a comment. However, XAI emailed what appears to be an automated response that simply stated, "Legacy media lies."
Yeah, so there's that. And then Ryan Grimm said he did a little test of Grok. The goal here was to test how straight Grok would be when it comes to U.S. history versus Soviet history. The result produced a level of propaganda that surprised even me. Look at this rendition of history from the robot. Czechoslovakia's 1948 coup exemplified Soviet orchestrated overthrow of a capitalist democracy via intimidation and internal proxies, extending influence aggressively post-World War II rather than passively consolidating. U.S. actions like those in Iran or Chile responded to perceived communist encroachments, prioritizing containment over doctrinal conquest. Okay. Unlike the USSR's Marxist-Leninist imperative for global proletarian revolution, which we need dearly, equating defensive realism with ideological expansionism overlooks the asymmetry. America built alliances, Soviets built satellites by design. Oh my God. Yeah, that's some propaganda. This matters because these LLMs will be the primary source of information for the public for the foreseeable dystopian future. It's not about arguing with a robot to convince it, but testing what it is trained to say. Again, this is being sold by Elon Musk as like, Grok and Grokopedia is like, oh, unbiased. Shit. To that I say, absolutely no. That's a lie. And everything about Elon Musk is a lie. His platform is a lie. The free speech is a lie. The all of it is a lie. And there's a lot of lying going on Twitter, and which I don't, which is why I'm trying to, treat it as such and not get too, deep on that platform. And I don't really care about like going far on Twitter or whatever, because the platform's ultimate goal is an evil one, an agenda, and I don't want to support it. So there's that. 80 days until most people are presented with the option of one AI answer for every query instead of a search engine. Okay. Well, this is what I heard. Actually, maybe This is a good time to, hey, Substack people, what's up? I see people watching on Substack. Bunch of people over there. Thanks. Kate, Zalipa, Steph C, Mr. Wizard. Cool. We've got Reflect the Sun and maybe a couple other people over on Odyssey. Thanks, y'all. Thanks, y'all. Sure. So, where are we? Oh, man, my I've got ADHD. I was gonna play you something. Where did I see it? Let me see. I was reading. Oh, here it is. Okay, hold on. I know what I was gonna do. Google recently limited the search results. It's pages of search results, and they're saying that it's because it is. I guess the theory is that everything AI is being trained on all the information on the web, and so they want to limit the access that AI and other crawlers have. But probably also to limit the results of the answers that you might get, right? Don't know if I can find the video. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to find it. I saw this in passing and I didn't, unfortunately did not save the, oh, here we go. Just ask the AI answer on Brave. Google has implemented a limit on the number of search results displayed per page, typically restricting users to 10 results unless additional steps are taken. This change, referred to as forced pagination, has disrupted SEO tracking tools that rely on retrieving large datasets, such as the standard 100 result views, potentially increasing data retrieval costs by a factor of 10. While Google previously allowed users to set the number of results per page to 100, this option has been removed from the standard interface. However, users can still manually adjust the URL by appending, whatever. Ampersand num equals XX, where XS is the desired number of results, such as 100, to view more results. This method allows access to up to 100 results per page, though it requires manual intervention for each source. Okay, so yeah. But this has been an ongoing filtering of what information you get from Google, right? Google has stopped being a search engine a long time ago and became a hide engine, and now it's hiding even more. So interesting. That's interesting, Denver. Sure, that we're heading to a point at which you're going to get very limited answers to your questions, right? Everything's going to be funneled down to, you're saying one, but one or very few. Yes, is of course all the results are approved and sponsored by Israel. Let's see. AI is essentially a crawler. Yeah. All the campaigns and Facebook maps and the different platforms we use that produce quality leads, all the calls to our clients have been 80% robocalls for the last month or two. They have already made a lot of changes in the back end. Okay. Okay. I mean, it's concerning. Let's see. Here is an interesting video about I played somebody. I saw this Dre talking about the ballroom, and then we had a little conversation in the chat about it. But she's going a little deeper on why the ballroom is being built. It's not really a ballroom, and it makes a lot of sense, and it fits in with the technocratic AI surveillance bobbity boops, right? Let's see. Lunar Minx. Lunar Minx. I think you should interview politicians and bring up the expert predictions of major job loss to AI in 2 years, and no one is talking about what humanity is to do when there's only a few jobs left. Well, that's a good question, Lunar Minx. Or a good suggestion, I might say. I don't know. We don't really know how far it's in, a lot of people are like, it's going to happen really quick. You're going to be out of a job. And maybe there are still some things that need to be done by actual people. And I hope that there's a big rejection of things AI driven. I think, people are going to go in the other direction, right? When you try to push things on people that are too unnatural and that are too scary, people tend to go in the other direction. And that is what they should do. Right? Anyways, please watch Dr. Strangelove. Man, I'm going to go back and watch Dr. Strangelove. It's a great movie. I've seen it a couple of times, but it's been a while since I saw it. I was saying, just recently I watched the original Manchurian Candidate, and that was really great. All about MK Ultra in the midst. All right, let's watch this from Dre, and I think that she is on to something here. Yeah, there's actually a bunker built in the 40s. Okay, there is a bunker under the East Wing, and so there's lots of talk about the ballroom, but a lot of people think that the real thing that's going on there is an upgrade to the bunker, not necessarily the ballroom. All right, let's listen.
Is not building a ballroom. I feel like I've known this in my soul, but now I feel like I have irrefutable proof, thanks to Andrew Kerr, an architect who posted on Facebook a few days ago and blew this case wide open. And he, by the way, has over 20 years of experience working on federal projects, and he walked through in his Facebook post step by step why this does not make any sense, this ballroom. I mean, for one, he just kind of did the math. $300 million at 90,000 square feet would be about $3,333 per square foot. He said that even luxury federal construction doesn't usually approach $1,000 per square foot. He also mentioned the geometry geometry of these renderings being nearly impossible because the renderings are showing a building that would need a 380 by 235 foot footprint, but the interior views show maybe 200 by 100 feet. And that's only 20,000 square feet, so that can't exist in the same building. Not to mention that the construction drawings, he said, look like they were thrown together in about a week, and I think that that's pretty generous considering I think that they were probably thrown together by Grok within, I don't know, a couple of minutes. Probably by Big Balls or whoever's still wandering around the White House from Doge. So the million-dollar question then becomes, well then what is he building? And the answer, I think, is that he's building an underground data center. Hear me out, hear me out. Think about where they're building, because it's not random, it's the East Wing, and that's where the PEOC bunker is. And just think about the significance of that, because that is where the tunnel systems are that connect the White House to the Treasury to the other federal buildings. It's where all of the secure communications infrastructure lives. I mean, that's prime real estate, just underground. Honestly, this kind of reminds me of the Oracle data centers that Larry Ellison built underground in Jerusalem. You know, the ones that were 9 stories deep, 160 feet below the ground, 460,000 square feet. And guess how much those cost? $319 million per bunker. Yeah, and the White House is already at $300 million for this ballroom, and it's only climbing. Fiscally, it feels like a more apt comparison, I feel like. Even outside of the architecture anomalies, the fact that this is privately funded should have been our first red flag. I mean, this is Donald Trump we're talking about, baby. I mean, the man who has absolutely no problem spending taxpayer money on stuff that just benefits him. This is the same guy who spent over $3.9 billion in taxpayer money just to make over Air Force One. Didn't he also make Secret Service pay to stay at Mar-a-Lago? Like, he charged the room bill to them? Just ridiculous. So when he suddenly won't spend government money on this means this isn't actually serving him. This means that this is serving someone else specifically. Look at the donor list. You've got defense contractors like Lockheed Martin and Booz Allen Hamilton, and you've got tech giants like Amazon, Apple, Google, Meta, Microsoft, Palantir. You've got crypto companies like Coinbase, Ripple, and Tether, and then telecoms like T-Mobile and Comcast. These aren't people who are funding a party space. These are companies who have very specific interests in government infrastructure, government data, and government operations. Don't get it twisted. They are funding infrastructure that very directly serves them. Also, think about Larry Ellison's vision, the one that he spoke about in the keynote the other day that I made a video on, the part where he said that he wants to automate the government. I mean, a lot of these tech pros have been talking about automating the government. And if you want to automate federal operations or create a single digital platform for the government, then that means you need a supremely secure physical home for that system. And by placing it directly under the White House, you eliminate latency problems and you ensure that the President of the United States has direct physical control over the system's core. Because remember, it's about centralizing control and securing the brain of the government. I know it sounds very dystopian, and in many ways it's because it is. But these are very real things that are happening around the world. And the companies that are funding this, well, they're buying access. They want their systems integrated to how the government operates. And that's what $300 million will get you, I guess.
All right. Good video there. They're installing Skynet, and yep. That's right, Chuck. Skynet is coming. Oh man. And thanks Salt Lakers for the video that you posted to Telegram. I want to play it, but are they going to screw with me for playing it? Because it's got footage from a movie in it. I mean, yeah. Anyways, yeah, it makes me frightened to play it. Just on YouTube, guys. Musk owns the Boring Company. Yeah, I'll say it's boring. Yeah, the prospect, it's happening. You know, and that's probably, you know, I've heard quite a few people indicate or say, you know, that this is the thing that we really should be focusing on and worried about, is the installation of the control grid. And that's what they're trying to do. And if people can be distracted enough while they're doing it, and then they're like, you know, ta-da, guess what, guys? They're trying to implement a digital ID in Britain, and I'm seeing a lot of pushback from that. I don't see the same level of like conversation about it in the US. That frightens me a little bit because, when I went to the DMV a few months ago, and there were so many people in there going like, I'm here to get my real ID. It's like, God, Lee, you guys, God, they told me that I needed it to get on an airplane. No, like, no, you don't. And don't do that. I want to be compliant. Yeah, you're going to be compliant right to the end, I guess. But like, don't get your real ID, for crying out loud. But if they get enough people to do it, then it just becomes an overwhelm. And then like it's harder for people to resist doing it. They're just scaring you into doing it, and you don't have to do it. And it's the same with the digital ID as what's going on in the UK. They're saying that people are going to need a digital ID, but there's a lot of people saying like, no, we don't. Just like vaccine passports and all that kind of stuff. Like there's got to be, come on, people, get it together. Don't do that. Don't do that. Oh, I want to be able to fly. No, you don't. You can still fly anyways, by the way. But you don't want to give up your freedom that much just so you can get on a plane and go somewhere for a couple of days. And I guarantee if you resist it now, you'll be able to do that later without like being blocked from flying because you said something on Instagram, which is where that's going. So if you still value your rights as a human being, if you value your, freedom of speech and freedom of movement and freedom of, whatever, all that stuff, you got to resist the overlords or the underlords, whatever you want to call them. Anyways, what's up, Fred from Doomer Cafe? The 50s were bad. Yeah. Yep. Norway, Denmark already have a digital ID. I know. Yeah. Well, it's coming, coming in hot, and you gotta, you gotta stay woke, my friends. All right. Oh, that does it for me. Thank you for listening. I appreciate you guys. You are the best and the bestest and the brightest. And all y'all are smarter than the average bear. And thank you for hanging out, tuning in, and making this channel go. If you want to support the channel, you know how to do it. A bunch of links in the description box of whatever channel your platform you're watching on. You can also subscribe to me. You can donate on Substack if you are so inclined, etc. You won't even download the Substack app. Well, they won't let me stream except for from the app, which is annoying. Otherwise, I wouldn't even bother. I probably wouldn't have the Substack app on my phone, but waiting for them to allow us to just stream from StreamYard, so it could just be so much easier, and I could probably see your chats and stuff, but whatever. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you. Enjoy your weekend, whatever you're going to do. Let's see. Oh, by the way, go to kevinsandbloom.com. Or better yet, you can go to kevinsandbloom.com, but or go to my Instagram page. There's a link there to a page with a bunch of new music on it. If you want to listen to it, I dropped a bunch of new songs in the last couple of months. Gonna put out some more real soon. If you're so inclined. All right. Enjoy your weekend. Be well. I'll see you on Monday at the regular time. And until then, beware the bear.